To be honest, we
Yeah.
don't know if you're going to be alive in the next second. So what's the point of wasting your time?
That we are always waiting for somebody to make that trip or waiting for those group of friends to agree
Yeah.
to come with us. And I feel like, you know what? Just pack your bags
Yeah.
and leave.
I think it's very important at least a few times in your life to do a solo traveling.
I also get to meet a lot of new friends when I'm traveling.
When you travel and you go to new places and you see the world, you just realize how tiny we are.
And I think after a point it got to me because I kind of lost touch of which city I'm waking up in. Like I would suddenly wake up and I'm like, where am I?
For me, it's not belonging to one place, but belonging to so many places, have lived so many lives, and that's home for me. I've come agreement with myself that I am my home. It doesn't matter where it is, but I am my home.
30 and thriving. Have you ever wondered, looking at someone's Instagram travel stories, that what is keeping you from your next flight or your next train to your dream destination? Well, hopefully, this episode will change your mind because I have the perfect guest. She's not just drop dead gorgeous and a sight for sore eyes, but somebody who has made Wanderlust a lifestyle. Please welcome Mandana Karimi.
Thank you.
Hi, Mandana. Welcome to 30 and
Hi.
Thriving.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, Mandana, you know, every time I'm looking at your Instagram stories, I feel exhausted. I mean, I think you wake up in one city and then you're going to sleep in another city and then you wake up in another city. What is
Yeah.
going on?
Last year in December, I promised myself that 2025, I'm going to focus on my relationships with my friends, with my old friends, and I want to travel. And as you know, because you're my friend and you know a little bit about my life, I lived in a lot of different countries.
Right.
And I have a lot of old friends, you know, they live in different places. And for many years, when I moved to India, because I was so busy here, and you know, we have all our excuses.
Yeah.
You're either busy with work, you're either busy with, I don't know, Diwali and this and that, and then you end up not traveling, right? But I promised myself this year is not going to be like previous years. And that's how I started traveling a lot this year. And there were few things that I had in my bucket list I wanted to go, like exhibitions, art fairs, things like that. I managed to.
Yeah, you know, I think you're so right. I remember the time when I was modeling,
Yeah.
I never took a break.
Yeah.
I would be working all the time and I was so scared that I'm going to mix the next call or the next opportunity that
Yeah.
it kept me back from
Yeah.
packing my bags and leaving.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, I went through this drill myself and I know exactly what you're talking about. But tell me something, Mandana, for you traveling, is it mostly leisure or is it work?
I think I've managed to have a good balance to mix my travels when I'm working. Or it's like, imagine you live in Bombay, right? So imagine in the morning you wake up and then you work the whole day, and then in the evening you meet your friends, or you know, you do something. I've done that with my traveling. So most of my travels, especially this year, I can easily say 85% has been work.
Right.
Like example, I think I was talking to you as well on Instagram. I think I was in Ibiza or Mykonos when I was actually working. I was there for work. And I ended up having this meeting with few people, and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing in the evening? Let's go out." So I worked the whole day, and then I was out, you know, partying or whatever. So 85% I could say like work, and the rest is just like making sure that I go to places, I see, new beaches or galleries, or make new friends.
You know, I think some of us are really lucky when we get to combine travel with work. You know, some of us are really lucky when work takes us to different places.
Sure.
But do you think it's mostly because you've been a content creator and you're also promoting places that you go to? Does that give you an opportunity?
I used to dislike the term content creator or influencer.
Right.
But what happened is that when I kind of moved to design space, I've been in that space for 5 years, right? So because of the travels that I was doing and the hotels that I was staying, it kind of came across that people asked me to, hey, like, where is this hotel that you're staying? And, like, I actually sent like few friends to few properties to stay because I was there for like a week, or, they didn't know about the property. It was in 2025, one of the decisions that I made was I want to, while I'm working, I want to stay in properties because I don't usually stay in the 5 stars or whatever, known hotels. I mean, they are great properties, don't get me wrong, but I like boutique hotels. I like hotels where they carry the conversation more than just a place that you stay. There's so much more to do in that hotel. Like, some of the hotels that I've stayed, they've kind of started biohacking the whole idea behind a spa, right? Or like the certain ways that they design their hotels, and the swimming pool, the outdoor pool, the indoor pool. So that's something that I've always loved a lot, like to understand how the hotels function. And fortunately, it was an effort that consciously I put into. I was like, okay, you know what? If I'm gonna create any content per se, I wanted to be around hotels. And this year, I think more than 8 properties so far. I've been the guest of the hotel.
Wow.
And they kind of like took me through, like, okay, who has built it, why they built it, and what is new, or the material that they've used. So that's the content creation that I'm doing.
Right.
But again, also I don't do it. I have certain like do's and don'ts. It's like, example, if I stay in a property, you would not see me talking about the floating breakfast.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I refuse to do that.
You refuse to do the floating breakfast.
No,
Oh,
because
gosh.
there's so much more to the hotel.
Yeah.
Like, example, I was in Maldives, and when they send me, what they want to highlight, one of the highlight was, the floating breakfast, and I was like, guys, I'm not gonna do that. We know there is Maldives and there's a floating breakfast, and we don't pay for it, right?
I also find it so funny. I mean, I don't know who started it, but I have a feeling it probably was an Indian somewhere who started it, because what I've noticed, we have beautiful beaches, right? And everywhere else around the world, you will see people have like, sports, beachy stuff. We put a chart stall. In our beaches. Like, who the fuck came up with an idea कि ये beach में मुझे chart stall डालना है?
See, it's a great idea.
A swimming pool is meant for swimming. Who came up with the concept that I want to eat my meals in a swimming pool?
Yeah.
So the whole concept of a floating meal is quite
it's
quite an oxymoron, I would say.
Yeah, it's overdone. And I mean, it's like example, I had a couple of questions. I was like, how much do you charge for the breakfast on the pool? And they were like, no, ma'am, this is for free for you. I was like, no. You want me to promote your place, right? And then you're showing all this like a breakfast floating or whatever. I don't think it's advisable. Like, actually, it's really messy. Eating your breakfast like on the water while, I don't know. I found it quite.
I don't know how it helps.
It's not even hygienic.
Yeah.
It's not hygiene. It's just like, but
Mandana, I also feel that because you've been a celebrity and you're a gorgeous looking woman and all of that put together, I feel like it's open doors for you for travel, and it's open spaces to kind of like, host you.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about normal people, who want to travel, but something stops them back. And I think the number one reason I would say is finance.
Yeah.
Because, traveling is a luxury.
Yeah, of course.
It's a luxury. It's a luxury, and it's also an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
So, but there can be different kind of travels. There could be budget travel, there could be luxury travel. How would you categorize yourself? Do you think you're a luxury traveler, or do you think you're more of a backpacker? I don't think you're a backpacker, babe. Be honest.
See, to be honest, the reason also, like, now people ask me, what are you? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I don't put myself into the box.
Yeah.
Even now, I tell people, I used to be an actress model. I'm a design consultant now, right? So I feel like when it comes to traveling, you need to be open to the idea. There are certain times, even for me, like I give you an example. There was this holiday that a few friends of mine, they had a plan, as I couldn't commit to it, right? So last minute, I could go for that holiday. But obviously, because of the last minute, I had to book my flights. And last minute flights, if you don't have like points, it becomes expensive, right? And I don't like traveling when I have to compromise on my comfort. I don't
Right.
say it in an arrogant way or like, oh, I cannot live without my business class. No, that's not what I'm saying. I like my comfort,
Mhm.
and the way I want to travel, and I want to have a life where I can afford to travel with within my comfort. But then there are sometimes, I give you example, there was this trip that I said, I had to actually reach to a country that my friends, everybody was taking flight from that and everyone was going together. And the only flight was available on those, timing was this horrible flight from Bombay to Istanbul. And like when I asked my agent and he called me and he was like, ma'am, there's only one flight, but I would not suggest you to take it,
I think I know which one you're talking
Yeah.
about. Is
It
it
was, yeah, it was
Air India?
horrible. No, it wasn't Air
Oh, it
India.
wasn't.
No, it's actually Indigo in collaboration with Turkish Airlines.
Oh,
And they have the old plane
okay.
and even the business class, it's not a business class, it's horrible. They didn't have it available. And this flight, it's for your staff, like the cheapest flight that you can, send your staff basically. I told my agent, I said, no, it's okay, book it. It has been the worst flight of my life. Like it was so bad, but still, I had such an amazing holiday. So if you're someone who kind of says like, oh no, I don't like this and I don't like that, and I want to have my travel this way and that way, you're going to lose time. And to be honest, we
Yeah.
don't know if you're going to be alive in the next second. So what's the point of wasting your time and saying that, oh, I don't have the money now, oh, let me put my money, let's, I don't know, gathered my money or gather my point. You never know. So I think it's just like the way I look at it. Take the decision, find a way,
Yeah.
and travel. It doesn't matter. It's business class, it's first class, it's backpack or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously, someone like me, I work hard enough to find new ways to
Yeah.
travel within my comfort, the comfort that I like,
Yeah.
what you can afford. And I think that just comes from what you like. And I mean, I do have a friend, she can actually afford it, but she does like backpack. And I'm like, babe, like, what's wrong with you? Why do you want to share a bathroom with like 20 people in a hostel? And she has the money. But
Yeah.
then,
Yes,
you
it's
know
all
what I
about
mean?
priorities, right? Each one has their own
Yeah.
reasons and their own
Yeah,
priorities.
but it shouldn't stop you from traveling.
Absolutely. And I really feel that, I saw this movie, Elvis. If you watched it,
Of
and it broke my
course.
heart because the last scene was that Elvis Presley, his entire life, just wanted to travel the world.
Yeah.
And he was signed up by his manager in that
Yeah.
awful contract that never let him leave Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The king of pop,
Yeah.
the person who we admire, had such a
Yeah.
sad life. And he just
Yeah.
spent his entire last few years of his life
Yeah.
in a hotel room.
Yeah. And travel, I mean, I'm not the same person that I was a year ago.
Absolutely.
And because when you travel and you go to new places and you see the world, you just realize how tiny we are.
It really opens
It
your
humbles
mind.
you up,
Absolutely.
it humbles you. And how you kind of like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You meet these people like in, I don't know, the tiniest village in wherever,
Yeah.
and you're like, traveling actually humbles you a lot. So
yeah,
it's-
true. But tell me something, Mandana, for you, when you are traveling, do you have any quirky pre-travel ritual? Is there something that you follow, or is there something that you must have, or some packing needs?
So I don't have like a ritual per se, but there's a fun fact about my travels.
Okay.
I downsized my life into a very small apartment. So I used to live in a bigger space and I had a lot of
Ah.
things. And usually when you have a lot of things, that means you need to document it. You need to know how many you have or where do you have it, right? So now my house is very small.
Yeah.
And I have few bags in my house. They get clean and I don't have staff, so I clean it myself. So there are few bags which are clean. So I exactly know if I'm traveling. Example, tomorrow I have a flight, right? So for my tomorrow trip, which is for 2 days, I'm visiting a property. I know exactly which bag I'm taking and how many clothes are going already. So
Oh.
my ritual is more of like, I finish my day, go back home, if I can finish more work or like a little bit of like a cardio or something, and make sure that in my fridge there's no food because it's gonna go bad. So it's a little bit of a cleanup, a little bit of packing, and I usually hang out with my friends because what has happened this year, I haven't been really in town, as you know. You know how many times we planned and I've canceled it.
Finally, we have you here.
So what happens? My ritual has become like hang out with friends. I have my bag in a car and I go directly to the airport.
Wow.
So my ritual, I think it comes into the cleaning, packing, unpacking, meet friends, take a flight, and out. Organizing.
You're a very organized person.
Yeah.
Are you Virgo?
No, I'm a Taurian, but I have major OCDs. But I've just learned how to use my OCDs in a better
isn't
way.
That your design company name as well?
Correct. My company is actually OCD. Yeah, I remember when I was registering a company in Dubai and in India, my team, they were like, Madam, hey, kya OCD? I was like, guys, just believe me.
You'll know.
Yeah, you'll know.
So, Vandana, today's episode, I wanted to focus on solo traveling because I have had this conversation with so many of my friends, people who have done solo traveling before, like myself, and also people who've never done it. And they're like, you know what? Once in my life, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And knowing that, we are single and we live alone.
Yeah.
And do you think that you're more of a solo traveler, or do you think you're somebody who travels more in groups?
I think I would say that I'm more of a travel person.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter it's a group or single or I've traveled with my ex-partners as well. It's great to have a partner to travel together. It's more fun. I love traveling with my groups and like with a few of friends. I love all of that, but I feel for me as a girl, as you correctly said, we are single and we work and we travel, we do a lot. I think it's very important at least a few times in your life to do a solo traveling, because the fact that you learn how to maneuver and navigate into a new airport, a new city. How do you get a SIM card? Or now too, you don't need a SIM card anymore, but like, how do you find a supermarket? Where do you stay? Where's your hotel? How to make new friends? All of that, it teaches you some sort of
independent.
It's not independency. It actually teaches you survival in any situation. It could be you going through a heartbreak, or you're going through some trouble with your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you. It makes you so stronger as a person that you're like, okay, you know what? I survived in some random country alone.
Yeah.
I can survive this as well. So it makes you actually a very stronger person.
Yeah, also, you don't have anybody else to depend on, right?
Yeah.
You have to sort your passport. You have to sort your tickets. You have to sort your travel itinerary.
Yeah.
So I feel like it also makes you very self-efficient.
Yeah,
because
does.
You don't have anybody else to depend on. It also makes you very brave.
Oh, it does.
I must say,
Yeah.
when you're especially a woman traveling the world, all by yourself. Is there some safety measures you would take when you're traveling alone in the back of your mind as a woman?
There are certain cities and places that it's already a known fact that, certain hours you shouldn't go to certain places, or make sure that you're not alone. You have somebody with you. For me, I trust my guts. It's a little bit scary. Don't take my advice on that.
I think we're both the same there.
but there is like example, I was in Port of Spain.
Yeah.
When you Google Port of Spain, it talks about human trafficking, drugs. You're gonna die. Like online, if you search about it, like the stuff that is written is quite scary. I had to go there for work, and I hired this driver who was supposed to be with me 24 hours. Okay, and I go to that city. Actually, it wasn't like that. It was quite decent. And there were a lot of places that you could easily go buy food, supermarket or like shopping mall or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there was certain area in the city, even the locals, they would not go there. And I think we are so blessed, that we have internet. It's so easy to go to, Google Map or like places like Instagram. You can actually search about other people's experiences.
Yeah.
I don't really have a measure, but it's the old thing that they say, don't talk to the stranger.
Yeah, I know.
I talk to the stranger, but I ask few questions, and if I feel like the gut feeling like this person Torasa, it's not safe, then I just kind of excuse myself from that situation.
Yeah, but I also feel that touch wood,
Yeah.
We are very lucky that, we've done so much as independent women traveling all over the world, and we are absolutely fine and safe.
Yeah.
We really need to bless our stars.
Yeah.
And similar to me, like, when I was doing my whole trip and my journey of solo traveling in
Yeah.
2018, I used to stick by this rule that whenever I'm traveling to an unknown place, I would go out during the day alone. But when
Yeah.
it comes to night, I wouldn't venture out alone.
Yeah.
I would venture out with a friend or a group
Yeah.
of friends. So I would be a morning person who would wake up early, get ready, go
Yeah.
out, seize the day. And once
Yeah.
it's sunset, I would try to, like, walk back to my apartment or the Airbnb or wherever I was
Yeah.
staying. But I remember this one incident very clearly, and it happened during the day.
Oh, wow.
This is in Tulum.
Yeah.
I had this idea that I wanted to try ayahuasca.
Oh.
Okay. And I wanted to experience life, and I went soul searching, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to find my soul.
See, that's one thing. I don't do soul searching.
I went soul searching.
I don't do
I
that.
did not find my soul. I'll be honest, but I still went.
I don't
for
have a
it.
soul.
Of course you do.
No.
But-
That kind of soul searching, I don't do.
Yeah.
It.
And then I remember I
Oh my
found this
God.
shaman,
Uh-oh.
and his name was Jesus. Okay. And he looked like a Mexican
Scammer.
Jesus, and this was between Peru and Tulum border.
Oh my
And I was
God.
waiting in my hotel in Lavalis, Tulum. And I'm saying, Jesus is on the way. Okay. And I'm waiting for Jesus. And in walks this guy, with sunglasses and long hair with abs. He's Jesus. And he takes me for my journey. And then we get into a cab and we start driving. And babe, we are driving and we are driving and we are driving for hours. And I don't know where the hell this guy is taking me. There's not
Wow.
another soul in sight. And suddenly we stop in the middle of nowhere. And he pays the cab driver, and the cab driver leaves, and suddenly it's me and him. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm taking this whole
I found my
gutsy
soul.
experience to another level. And then we cut between these plants into this detour, and we went inside a jungle. And inside the jungle, there was this open space, and it was beautiful because it was in the middle of the forest. There's the ocean, there's the sky, and there's
Yeah.
not a soul around. And believe me, for a moment in my life, I thought I'm going to be human sacrifice. Because I'm like, I'm in bloody Tulum, I'm alone
By
with Jesus, and Jesus is going to kill me today. And I was just looking left and looking right and thinking, who's coming out of this place now? What's going to happen to me now?
That is
And I'm doing
insane.
ayahuasca. So it was an experience. But you know what? Touch wood.
See, I don't do that
We-
kind of stuff.
We did this whole experience, which really changed my mind,
Yeah.
actually. I cried, I swam in the ocean, I connected with earth and all of that. It was a beautiful experience, but I was safe.
Yeah.
And my heart is racing when I'm telling these stories. But, I also am a person who puts myself in these situations. So guys,
Yeah.
do not learn these things from
Yeah,
us.
don't.
We're bad girls.
No. I don't find my soul. I need the full yacht. I need the private things. I need to be, sent to a place, like be there nicely. I don't
Yeah.
follow any Jesus.
No, don't
I
follow
don't.
Jesus.
I do not follow Jesus.
But yeah, so Mandana,
Yeah.
we're talking about so many interesting stories that happen, when you're solo traveling. Tell us something like, interesting, or something that's really scary, or something that, that you would never repeat again.
I think oh my God, this summer I've had so many interesting incidents. Like, okay, I tell you like one of the nice one I can
Yeah.
share. I was in Ibiza. I was working actually. My friends, they were partying. La, la, la. I got late. There was a boat. It was supposed to take all of us and then go to this beautiful yacht. A friend, he had a birthday party. So I was late, and there was this guy who kept calling me. I was like, "Ma'am, you're late. I have to go. It's getting dark." I was like, I'm coming. The Indian way of like saying things. So I got stuck in traffic, and anyway, I missed this boat. This guy gave up, left. So I reached out and I'm like, how about my friends? And we were supposed to be on that yacht for 2 days. So I had a bag, and we were all supposed to be on that. So there was this cute looking what do you call it, guy, and
Yeah.
just like he's looking at me. I'm like, what are you looking at? He's like, oh, you missed the boat. Ha ha ha. I was like, yes, I did miss the boat. Like, do you have any like suggestion, or are you going to save me? Or, I got really angry at him. And he was like, oh no, there's another boat, but you can take that. So anyway, from like like someone staring at you, right?
Yeah.
So he actually gave me this, what do you call it? The name of the boat that was leaving. I go there. I pay some money to this boat. I don't know why I sat in that boat, and the boat was going towards my friend, right? And not surprisingly, my friends they decide to move where the yacht was. They decide to go like further. So this boat dropped me in a island looking place. Okay. So I go there and I take a taxi. And this taxi guy is like flirting with me and he's just like, oh, it's so pretty. Where you come from? And I'm like, dude, can just like someone drop me on that fucking yacht? Anyway, he's going and the location of the yacht that I have is moving. Okay. So and it finally stops. It stops. The me and the taxi, we are at the end of the what do you call it? The island. There's one house. And he drops me there and he's like, ma'am, I have to go. You have fun with your friends. I have to go back. This is my number. If you need me, just call. And he just leaves. I just like get dropped. I literally have a video of me and pictures. So I go there and I can see my friends. I can see the yacht is there. And I can see my friends like they're playing music. I can hear a few of them. They're having great time. But they're not picking up my bloody call. Okay. So imagine you're in an island. There's only one house. Your friends are like there. I spent 3 hours on that little whatever. I saw the sunset. There was an old man and a wife. I hang out with them for a bit. And finally my friends were like, oh my God, where have you been? So they pick up and they send me a boat to come and pick me up from that little things. So I swim to it. I get on a little boat and I go to the yacht.
Damn, it's almost like spending some time in an abandoned island.
Yeah,
right?
on my
What was
own.
the Tom Hanks movie, I forgot. Where he gets like stuck in an island.
No, but I mean, mine was like I could see my friends.
Also there, right?
I wasn't stuck anywhere. I could see my friends, but they weren't picking up my calls.
You.
Yeah, but it was such a nice day because I because of what happened, right?
Yeah.
So I was doing my own stuff. There was a taxi ride that I did, and the boat with like another 20 people I didn't know. And but you never know. I feel like I think sometimes you know it yourself that you should not talk to certain people or the situation it seems a little bit dicey. Also like when I travel, especially in Europe, I don't carry anything super expensive. I don't wear my watches.
Very unsafe these days.
I don't wear my watches or I don't carry like expensive stuff around with me because anyway, someone is going to attack you. You know how it is.
The one thing that I've realized is I don't want to carry is expensive sunglasses. I don't know why, but I always end up losing my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunglasses is one thing.
For sure.
I always wear like cheap sunglasses when I'm traveling. That's one hack.
Yeah.
But, you're so right because I sometimes feel that everyone must travel alone once.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
Because like you said, you were in that island, you were doing your own thing, but something that was probably meant to not go your way ended up becoming a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's exactly what happens when you're traveling alone. You feel that, oh my God, I won't know anybody there. What am I going to do? I'm going to get bored.
Yeah.
But you end up having a great time because you're giving yourself the opportunity to meet new people.
For sure. No, for sure.
To meet more interesting people. And so what are the kind of holidays do you do? Like, I know that you go for a lot of music festivals.
I do.
Yeah.
So
tell us about that.
I love music. I have a lot of friends into music industry. People who they have, what do you call it? They manage concerts, they manage artists. So I get invited to a lot of stuff. And, a few of my really like close friends also, they live in Europe. That's what they do for living. But for me, in India and outside of India, I actually have like music concerts or festivals in my calendar. So I know throughout the year how many concerts is there, what festival is happening, if I'm joining friends or not, if I'm going for it or not.
Do you like have a festival calendar that you know which ones you want to go to in
I do have. Okay. Yeah. India, not so much.
Yeah.
Because India, there are a few artists when they are in India, I'm friends with them. So I know they're touring in India. So I know where they are. But mainly in Amsterdam, Germany, Paris, what else? London and few other places, which is new for me as well. So I actually make an effort. Like I have it in my calendar. I keep talking to my friends. Like, are you going for this? Should we go together? Right. Yeah, I love that. And for me, it's not only about I don't know. I don't know what it is with me. It's mix of a lot of things. So it's not like I only go because I like music, but how I do it is a little bit different. If you look at the group of friends that I have, all of them are in a different industry.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we meet, we are kind of have like a same interest in life.
Yeah.
So from music, from art festivals, or furniture exhibitions and things like that. Yeah,
you
I have a
know?
calendar for pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting, actually. And there are so many of these music festivals that are happening today, and it's become a new rage because I feel like also it's the new golf course.
Yeah.
Like how
Especially in
people
India.
would like network in golf courses. I think people are networking a lot in these music festivals.
I'm not sure about the
because
networking anymore,
you do
though.
actually, you'll be surprised. Like I have like entrepreneurs and friends whose fathers and mothers who are probably people at a certain age group who you wouldn't feel like. I know I have a friend, a common friend,
Yeah.
between both of us.
Yeah.
Her father went to Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, yeah, we know who it is.
I dislike Tomorrowland.
And we were like, oh my
I don't
God,
like
we can't
that
go
festival.
to Tomorrowland anymore because, like our parents are going to Tomorrowland now. But
Yeah.
that man, he went there to actually network. And that's
I
what's
know.
happening these days. It's the new golf
But
course.
that's what I don't like Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Because for me, music festival is for you to go and dance and enjoy
absolutely.
yourself.
And what about the VIP sections? Are you somebody who's for the VIP sections, or do you think the dance floor is for all?
How many times? It depends. It depends. Actually, let me correct myself.
Yeah.
In India, I cannot be in a public dance floor.
Okay.
Because one thing that I dislike so much, it bothers me so much. In India, you go to a concert and people making the place like filthy. They drink, they throw their glass, the food that they have, it's all over the place. Not because I'm like, oh no, I need the VIP, not because of that. In India, I can't do that. I can't go near the the dance floor. I have to have the VVIP behind a DJ or behind a musician or somewhere which is exclusive. But example, in Amsterdam, there is a festival that I go in Amsterdam every year. There is no VIP.
Yeah.
Everyone is taking care of each other. Everyone is cleaning. Everyone is making sure that the other person is taken care of. But yeah, sometimes VIP is nice.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And it's so unfortunate, right? Because I feel like, and this is true, this is brutally honest, it's our country lacks a certain civic sense. And I feel like that needs to change. And hopefully it should change soon, with
it's not going to change. I'm sorry to say that. I lived in
really
India
hope so too. And I would want to be positive about it. It might take a while. But the thing is, our country itself, if you look at India, it's such a beautiful country. That's why I say that, you either love India or you will hate India whenever a foreigner is traveling to our country. And I say that don't go to the cities. Don't go to Bombay. Don't go to Delhi. Don't go to Calcutta, Bangalore. Go to places with nature, because our country has mountains, it has oceans, it has everything. But I also feel that I wish it was safe for women.
Yeah.
I wish it was cleaner.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have so much to offer that it just, it's such a shame that,
I mean, this is what I think. I could be wrong, but I feel like Indians, they don't have. There is a lack of empathy for other people. There is a lack of the fact that I've seen it in front of me. There are people who are like throwing trash, and they say, "Ha, koi saaf karega," right? So for me, it's when someone make that kind of a statement is a lack of empathy that I feel a lot of Indians they have. And it's not about Indians are not smart. It's not about Indians are not hardworking. India doesn't have beautiful places. I feel what's happening in India, which is so sad, that me, after traveling for a year outside of India, 2025, I haven't been in Bombay that often anymore. To be honest, when I come back, I'm like, what happened to Bombay? The pollution is so bad. The traffic is so bad. And everything, it feels just like it's bothering me, And I love this city. I've kind of grew up in Bombay, I've been here for so many years. But I feel like the lack of empathy, it doesn't matter how much the government is going to do, how much me and you going to do, until people, they don't understand. And people, I'm talking about like real people, the higher population that we have in India, it's not going to change. It's just getting worse. And that comes with everything. The women's safety, the clean air, the garbage, the situation, everything that we are going through in every day.
And before cleaning everything else, we want to remove the street dogs from the roads.
I mean, the fact that
that is the solution to
Yeah.
everything. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some things need to change for sure. But, you know, Mandana, I read something you posted on Instagram and it
Yeah.
really touched me.
Yeah, sure.
And it was and you write really well. I don't know if
Thank
many
you.
people know this or not, but Mandana
ChatGPT helps.
Oh, is it? You're giving out all the trade secrets.
No, of
But
course. I'm no gatekeeper. I share all my tricks. Yeah.
You wrote something very beautiful about home and what home means to you. And you kind of described it with your love for traveling, you know, and your love for finding home. Now, you're from Iran.
Yeah.
Tell us something about your hometown, Iran, and do you miss it and how beautiful is it? And, you know, the situation of the world today and everything that's happening. I know we were together that night, you, me, and another friend of ours, you know, and we were listening to Iranian music. We were drinking Iranian tea. And we were just celebrating your culture. And that was the first time I actually got to experience Iranian culture through somebody.
Yeah.
And it was a very emotional moment for me too, because, you know, I deeply feel about these things. I'm an empath.
Yeah.
And I know what you were going through personally.
Yeah.
So that writing was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. You know, it's a quite strange feeling where I lived in so many different places, right? I left Iran when I was really, again, the writing that you're talking about, that's exactly how I feel. It's like, I don't know anymore. I cannot answer your question when someone says, do you miss home? Because when I think about home, it's my Pali Hill home, which is in India, in Mumbai. I used to have a home in Malaysia. That's home for me as well. And then where I was born, right? For me, I think the definition of home has become the people and the friends that I have, and people and the things that I've learned and the way they've shaped me. That has become my home. Like, example, if I go to Tehran, I'm sure right now I don't feel like it's my home, but I was born there, right? And I think it's such a I'm so blessed to have this what do you call it, this life that it has allowed me to be born in one place and then live in so many different places and call so many different places home, you know. But then again, also there are moments that I think to myself, would I be the same person that I am if I was born in Iran, lived there, studied there, got married, and didn't do any travel? I would definitely not want that life, because thinking about, like, if I want to travel right now, right? Let's say I want to just make a holiday plan for Christmas and New Year. I can have easily more than like 40 plans. I have like 40 different friends. I've lived with them. I've traveled with them. I call them, some of them are my home, you know? So for me, that's how I feel about home. For me, it's not belonging to one place, but belonging to so many places, have lived so many lives, and that's home for me. Yes, I was born in Iran. Unfortunately, I could not live in my country, or I cannot go back to my country. But definitely, I feel it's been just few years now. Before, I was kind of trying to fit into Indian culture, or like kind of like forgetting where I come from, which happens. But then it's been few years. If you look at the work that I do, if you look at the writings that I do on my Instagram, and a little bit of communication that I have, I keep talking about where I come from, who I've become, and what I'm doing now. Because that's what it is for me. It's home. And also, I know it sounds really shallow and it sounds very like Instagrammy, as they call it. But I've come what do you call it, agreement with myself that I am my home. It doesn't matter where it is, but I am my home. So it's not more of like, oh, it's home Bombay or Dubai or Tehran or wherever. Because you are the one who's carrying all of this as a home.
Yeah. Gypsy soul.
I don't know. No, I'm not a gypsy.
Not a gypsy soul. I think I was probably a gypsy in my
I can't be a gypsy.
I don't know why. I have a very strong.
I have a very fancy design-oriented art.
I like gypsy.
Yeah, I like my, you know, like having a very fancy house on top of the mountain. I live like a gypsy.
I think
and have my Michelin star chef to come and cook for me.
I think in one of my last lives, I was a gypsy for sure, a Spanish gypsy who read tarot cards. And in another life, I think I was a butler to a very big king. Because I am the best person when it comes to, organizing things in the house and taking care of the house. I definitely think I was a butler in one of my lives for sure.
Yeah.
But, Vandana.
Yeah.
This whole thing, sometimes traveling seems like a fun thing to do, but do you think it's also escape? Escape from maybe your problems, escape from maybe a situation, escape from maybe home. And, we are probably running away from something. And when we say that, that we want to travel and we want to keep moving so that, we don't need to deal with the reality of certain things in life.
I used to actually have that few years ago. One of my friends, she asked me, she said, oh, you're escaping because of this problem and that problem and this and that. You don't want to face it. I was like, come on, babe. First of all, I'm the worst. I'm the worst enemy of myself.
We all
are. The way I judge myself every single day, the way I question myself, it's just like horrible sometimes. I used to think that for me, traveling is escape from my problem, myself, running away, don't want to belong to one place. You what do you call it? You running for the next high, because this the adrenaline, right? It gives you that pump. But it's actually not. I fucking love traveling. I cannot not be on a plane or eat the plane food for, I don't know. Now, if I don't take a flight every like 2 days, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, like now it's been the longest 3 weeks. I haven't taken a flight because I had to be in Bombay.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that before I thought it's escape, but what happened is that when you grow older and you do more travels and you understand that's a way of living for you. That's not running away from your problem. Someone actually emailed me this year and they wanted me to talk about my problems. And I was like,
what do you mean?
Okay. And they're like, no, you travel so much. It seems like you have a lot of issue in Bombay and you're running away from you should face it. And let's talk about women and empowerment. I was like, that is women.
What's
and
the
women.
Connection between?
Yeah. So this person had like a very funny way of looking at my travels.
Yeah.
And I was like, babe, I don't run away from anything. And if I don't like something, I don't run away from it. I remove you from the conversation or from my life.
Yeah.
So I think after you get I don't know, experience, older, you do more travels. For someone like me, I've realized that for me, traveling is way of living.
Yeah.
I cannot be stuck in one place.
Yeah.
Even in Mumbai, I try to keep rotating my friends and the circles that I hang out.
Yeah.
Because I'm a kind of a person, I get bored.
Yeah.
If I have a conversation with someone that talking about the same thing that they've done, let's say I talk to someone and this person said 2 months ago or maybe a year ago, oh, I want to color my hair blonde. And she still has the black hair and she's still talking about it. I'm like, babe, get a life. Can you just change your fucking hair? Make it easier for all of us.
I love changing hair. I feel like it just gives you a new life.
Yeah.
Anytime I have a problem, I think a hair wash and a haircut can solve anything.
Yeah.
It really does.
So
right?
for me, I need to be engaged. I need to learn from people around me. I need to see new places. I need to get inspired by life.
Yeah.
Because the moment your horizon is open, right? You actually become a better fucking human being.
Absolutely.
And the moment your eyes are like this and you're judging everyone like this and you're like, oh my, and you have so many opinions about everyone. Oh, she's fat. Oh, she's this. But the moment you're so busy with travel and learning and doing all of that, you love everyone. You have no problem with anyone. You become a nicer person.
Yeah.
Like the other day, someone asked me, oh, what do you think of her? I was like, who? And then she's like, this person. I was like, really? I don't know. She looked great. I mean, what about her?
Yeah.
And people, I feel like people, they don't travel or they don't want to like keep moving. They stuck in one corner.
Idle mind is a devil's workshop. It's literally that, you know what I mean?
It is.
But I heard this theory once and I find it quite fascinating. I'm not sure how much of it is true, but I do relate to it. So your body, the aura contains your body.
Yeah.
So it's not like the soul is inside your body is inside your soul.
Yeah, you're better with those stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, so they say that your aura is 21 meters long.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's actually spreading all around you. It's like a light and it's like a halo around you, and it's all different colors. So sometimes your aura has reached a space before you even entered. So that's why, you'll get this something called an intuition. You're about to enter a room and you're getting this feeling.
Is it the same thing that you say deja vu?
It's also the same thing. Some people say that, you have eyes behind your back, that somebody's standing and I can feel it. How do you feel it? How do you feel it?
See, I learned something about aura
your aura
today.
feels it. And they say that, the aura is the happiest when it keeps moving. So when your body is stagnant in one place, your aura is stagnant in one place and it starts shrinking.
Yeah.
So the moment you're traveling, the moment your body is moving, the moment there's movement, the moment there's exercise, the moment there's travel, your aura shines and you're happy. And you'll see, I've noticed this, people come back from a holiday as a different person.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you said this because this year, it's been the toughest year of my life. Like work has been, don't get me wrong, like phenomenal, but it has been the toughest year of my life.
You get it, girl.
I have faced with certain things that I've kind of sat down, I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Because the moment you start expanding, not that many people like it. They try to push and push and push, right? But then I've had a really tough year this year. Oh my God. We spoke about some part of it, if you remember last time when I was in Bombay. But then someone actually told me, they were like, oh, you look very different. You look very happy and you look fresh. And it is. But I heard that you were facing this problem and that problem in your business. I was like,
that's such a
yeah,
personal and awkward question to be asked.
So when what you say makes a lot of sense because I might have had a tough year, but because I have moved so much, I have kept the energy and the flow going, right? So I haven't been sitting in one place and feeling duller because see, life is not all rainbows and travels and the money comes and all of that, right? But then what you do with all of that dullness and then how you generate the energy from that dullness, that's what is important. And I think what you're saying about the whole aura thing that you explained, it makes a lot of sense.
So, there was this one time in my life where I decided to take a break from the industry that I was working in, which is the movie industry. And because I restricted myself from holidays and travel, I thought this was my opportunity to not just leave the industry, not just leave the city, but leave the country.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a way of escaping. And somehow, what was meant to be the worst time of my life ended up being the best time of my life. Because I went from one country to another as a solo traveler. I was staying at Airbnbs. I was staying with friends. I stayed in an RV. I stayed in some hotels. And I was just trying to see as much as I could and travel the world. And I think after a point it got to me because I kind of lost touch of which city I'm waking up in. Like I would suddenly wake up and I'm like, where am I? Which hotel room am I in? And I started getting anxiety on flights. It got too much for me, and then I think the only thing I wanted to be rooted. So I came and I found my apartment and I got 2 cats. And I think now I'm like sweetly rooted in my own space. But have you ever felt that way with your travel, that it's getting overwhelming for you?
No. At the moment, no. Because I thought this year is going to be a year that I'm going to be exhausted by the end of the year. To be honest, I wanted this life. I wanted to travel at this extent. I had... But also like the way I travel, I'll explain it to you. What happens when you travel so much, there are certain times that if you don't really listen to your body, like the anxiety that you said on the flights, right? A lot of people do get that after you travel so much. They say, oh, I've been living in the hotels for so long, taking too many flights. I don't feel rooted. I need my routines. The way I travel, I try to make it part of my routine instead of being like, oh, okay, I'm traveling now, so know this or know that, or I'll do it when I'm back home. No, I do my laundry when I'm traveling. I do my, if it's a workout or I don't know, staying with friends or playing with my friends' kids, right? I do certain things which kind of rooted me and like kind of keeps me grounded. But then I know what you mean. But for me, no, I haven't felt that. Actually, like I've been in Mumbai now 2 weeks. I feel like I'm missing something, which is traveling. I cannot be in like put it to in one place for way too long. I feel like I'm getting like rotted.
Yeah, I know
You
what you
know,
mean. That
but
happens
you're
too.
right. A lot of people do feel like they need to be back to their routine, be
Yeah.
at home with the cats or dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a way of my life. I have a very big life. I live a very grand life, not as in like money wise or anything, but like I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people in different countries. I like the work that I do, the artists that I work, they're not from India. So what happened is that because the way I work, the way I communicate with everyone, it's kind of feels like part of me. It doesn't feel like something which is temporary for 6 months or 3 months or two months. And
Right.
even example, a lot of people say, "Oh, you're saying that you haven't worked out in so long, but how you stay fit?" See, that's the whole concept. When you make being fit part of your lifestyle, you don't do it for 3 months and then you let it go. It's just going to be with you until you're alive, right? So for me, traveling is that. It's not something that is going to make me feel I'm not rooted or I need to go back to routine. No, for me, traveling and being on the go and being on a flight and enjoying that flight is it's part of me. So it
Right.
doesn't really bother me that, oh, now I need to go home.
Right.
But also my life is very different. I've lived a very different life. So
Very colorful life.
yeah, very
Of course.
colorful life.
But for me, I actually strive to be that way because I had this conversation with my therapist. I have a certain kind of ADHD
Yeah.
in which I can only focus on one thing at one time. I can't multitask. Like I am
Ah,
somebody who gets nails, claw, teeth digged into one thing. Like if I'm working on my podcast,
yeah.
I can't socialize.
Yeah.
And this happened to me. I was so involved in this project because I've given my heart and soul to it. This
Yeah.
for me is my baby, and I love doing this show.
Yeah.
And my team took a break, and suddenly I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell am I going to do with my time right now? Because
Yeah.
everybody's gone on holiday, and am I supposed to take a holiday now? Because I want
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
And that happens with me. So I feel like what you're saying is, finding that balance that just because you're traveling, don't let go of your routine.
Yeah.
Don't let go of your workout. Don't let go of everything while you're traveling. Keep everything to a
Yeah.
balance. I think that's something that I personally am learning
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right way to do
Yeah.
it, to have
And
that
and for
balance.
me, I'm always doing like 10 things at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, I'm in a salon and I'm on a Zoom call with like London, or I'm in a gym in like, early in the morning and I'm on another call or replying to emails, which is like in another country. So, and I want my life to be like that.
Yeah.
And, there are a lot of people, they have a lot of opinion on things. Someone recently told me, oh, the reason you're single is because you don't stay in one place. I was like, no, the reason I'm single because
Hi,
I don't want.
stay in one place and I'm still single.
Yeah,
Trust
so
me, like.
so and then
Hi.
this friend said, oh no, because if I was a man, you travel so much, you're always on a go. When or where can I catch you? I said, my darling, a man who's going to be in my life is going to be so easy to catch me. He's going to take any flight and he's going to just arrive wherever I am. And the reason I'm single is not because someone cannot catch me. First of all, I'm not a catch. I don't want to be catched. And the reason I'm single is because I want to be single.
Or
So it doesn't matter. It's because I travel so much. And then this person was like, oh no, but it would be nice to stay in one place, get a bigger house and bring your dogs back, living with you. I was like, no.
or you could have a lover in every country. As simple as that.
I'm not sure
Why
about
not?
that, but yeah.
Why not? I feel
Yeah.
that, with me, now I'm missing traveling because I did it so much. It got overwhelming for me. And then I have my home with my 2 cats and I hate leaving them and going somewhere. But I feel like now I'm craving a little bit of that wanderlust, because I've been like grounded
but
for
see,
too
that's
long.
that's
That
what
also
that's what I
happens.
mean. The fact that I've designed my life in a way that it doesn't go on the way of not dating someone, then having worried about the house, or like the way my house, my whole system works right now. You can tell me like, hey, listen, let's book a flight and go tomorrow morning, or like even now. I can actually move.
But when you're talking about finding a partner, I also feel that, the moment you focus your entire mind on finding a partner, you really don't find a partner. I think when you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your own happiness and growth, you're giving out those positive energy to
Yeah.
attract the right people in your life. And
Yeah.
trust me, I know this. The ones who are meant to belong in your life will always find their way to belong in your life. And the
Yeah.
ones who don't just won't. Having said that, I also feel that when you find a partner, somebody that you love, the best way to test that relationship is to travel with that
Of
person.
course, for sure.
When you're, even if you're living in the same city, you're probably like, neighbors with each other. I feel like you spend a couple of hours together and then you
Yeah.
both go each way. You don't get to know a person. The
Yeah.
moment you're stuck with each other, you're
Yeah.
traveling together, you're stuck in a hotel room together, you get to know the person's
Yeah.
inner, everything.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier for you to make up your mind as to whether
Yeah.
this person will fit into your lifestyle
Yeah,
or
because
not.
if someone is in their house and the environment that they are known to, like you call it home, right?
Yeah.
But when someone is traveling, it's the fact that how that person is going to deal with. I just give you like a small example. Imagine traveling with a guy and you just like checked in and
Yeah.
you are trying to check in and the reception says for whatever reason your room is not ready, right?
Right.
There are two different people. One is me. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. I'll just wait.
Mhm.
Or what I do, I put my bag and I go and see the city. I do whatever I have to do. I work or, I'm like, oh, okay, who cares, right? But there are certain people, they become angry at it or they kind of like show reaction. Oh, why my room is not ready? I'm tired. And so basically what happened is that whoever you travel, it could be even, your girlfriends.
Yeah.
When you travel with someone, you actually see how they react in certain different situations. And I think, it's the best way of getting to know someone. I have befriended some people this year because I traveled with them. And I was like, oh my God, we're not friends.
Yeah, I know. I know some of the stories. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, we're not friends, dude. No.
Yeah, but I also like making new friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, firstly, friendships after a certain age, especially in your 30s, is so tough. When we were in school, things were so easy because you would meet the same friends and you would have the same
for me,
parties.
it's different actually.
It's the opposite.
It has become easier for me to make friends now.
I feel like adult friendship is so different today, because all of us have busy lives, and people who have families, kids. It's so difficult to keep in touch with friends, I also get to meet a lot of new friends when I'm traveling. Like, I'm a person who loves going to retreats.
Yeah.
I love doing wellness retreats. I've done like 100 like wellness retreats, and the best ones.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I started doing retreats at a very early age, actually. I started doing retreats in my early 30s.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest person in the group because they were always older women
of course.
and older men. And they were like, what are you doing in this retreat? You're supposed to be going to a rave. Why the hell are you in a wellness retreat? And I was like, no, I kind of like this. And those women that I met inspired me.
Yeah.
Because even though we are a modern society today in 2025, I feel like somewhere there is this backward mentality where people feel like, your life is over in your 30s. By now, pack your bags, get married, settle down. That's the end of it. But I see women in their 60s, women like, much older than me. Some of them are starting a career. Some of them are like, getting married. Some of them are finding love. Some of them are going through a surgery, whatever it could be, and they look at me and they're like, so young, you have a whole life to live. And I feel like that really changed my mindset. And that's why I love hanging out with these women out there.
No, for sure. For sure. Life. I mean, to be honest, I think, a lot of people say, oh, women this, women that.
Yeah.
I feel we've been doing it for so many years.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that we have something called social media. Now it's like everywhere. Everyone is talking about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was invited to this property in Maldives, and this property actually known for a honeymoon space. So the way they've designed it, it's around couples and, enjoying your time with your better half or whatever they call it. So the team, when they messaged me and I said, I'm single, I'm coming anyway. They're like, are you sure? Do you want to like bring another friend? I was like, no, it's okay. So I went there, and the people that I was hanging out with, like there was this couple that I made a friend with. They were there for their 25th anniversary. They've been coming every year to the same property and they've been staying in the same room. And I found that so sweet. But at the same time, it was so nice for me to, yet, yes, I was there alone, but meeting these two people and then just like looking at it, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool though. You know, I don't know if I would have said no to this trip. I would never meet people like this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's so true. So tell me, out of all the experiences that you've had and all the places that you've been to, which is your favorite place to travel to?
oh my God, I never can answer that question because places for me, it's not about where is my favorite place. It's more of like what mood I am in.
Mhm.
And these places they become special because of the people that I've spent time
Yeah.
with. Yes, there are like a couple of places which I love the food.
Yeah.
Like with friends, without friends, I go there and I just eat for like 3-4 days and I just come back.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a particular favorite place.
Yeah.
But I like programming myself with nature. You know, like where is the best summers? Where is the best summer? You go there, and then the spring and the fall and the winter. I don't have specific place. I think the only place, not because I'm from Iran, I'm a traveler. The only place that you can actually have 4 seasons and actually travel within the same time, you can have the beach, snow, spring, and what do you call it, mountains, and everything else is Iran or
South Africa
around
too, actually.
South Africa,
They're
not
there.
so much.
Yeah.
Because South Africa doesn't have the spring or
Yeah.
the mountain which has snow at the same time.
Yeah, but also climate's changing. You know, sometimes when I'm traveling alone and I'm doing a solo trip and I'm actually really happy, and then and I love going to places with nature. I love seeing nature, and I'm watching this beautiful sunset, and I'm suddenly like, wow, you know, and I look around and I'm like, oh my God, I'm all alone. You know, there's nobody next to me to enjoy the sunset with. And I think that's kind of like a downside of sometimes traveling solo where you kind of miss company.
Yeah.
Has that happened with you?
It sounds arrogant, but it used to happen. And I used to have a moment that I used to cry, but many years ago, not now. Actually, I love my own fucking company. And I'm so happy that I'm alone looking at that sunset. No, yeah. And there was a time, I think this is couple of years ago, I had to travel alone, and I was having this problem with my ex or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, I wish he was here or whatever." But this year, no.
No.
I have loved every moment that I was alone.
That's amazing.
And if I felt it wasn't lonely, but I was alone. You know, it's two different things.
Yeah.
It was more of like, you know, you are in this beautiful place, as you said, you're looking at the sunset. I think the fact that I was alone, not sharing that moment with someone, it could be even my mom, you know. It was that. It wasn't more of like, oh, I'm so sad, I'm lonely, or I wish I had someone. But that moment was so beautiful that it was kind of like, oh, it would be nice if my friends also were here, or my mom was here, or someone, you know. But I don't feel lonely anymore, unfortunately. I'm so happy with my own space that I am. And believe me, it has taken a lot of crying and a lot of enjoying my own company and enjoying myself, you know, and being with myself alone. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of women, I feel, because you know, life has changed so much. Women are making money, women are doing things on their own and alone, you know. So we've become, I think, more stronger. We enjoy our own company, and that's why a lot of people actually started doing solo traveling.
True.
It's not the fact that we don't feel lonely, but it's just the fact that sometimes it's better to do things alone. And you know, if you, and I think that's the way of I would like to look at falling in love with someone. Because if you reach a place that you love yourself in that you know place, I think that's when you're gonna find someone who you're gonna actually love. And it doesn't come with so much of a ego or what do you call it, the better half, because no one is a half.
Yeah.
You're a full person. You're a full person that
Absolutely.
someone else comes next to you. So yeah, no, I don't feel lonely anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what they say, that it's better to be
Yeah.
single than to be with somebody wrong.
Yeah. And a lot of people that I know, they're in relationships, but they're lonely because their husband or the wife, she or he is not there. So
Yeah. And also I feel like, sometimes we become too dependent on others, not necessarily our partners, but also maybe family members or friends, that we are always waiting for somebody to make that trip or waiting for those group of friends to agree to come with us. And I feel like, you know what? Just pack your bags and leave.
Yeah. But also
don't wait for people.
There's a misconception with women who are so independent and they enjoy their own company. A lot of people say, oh, that's why you're single, because how are you going to be okay by living with someone else, right? But I have a very different opinion on that. I think women who are very independent and they have a beautiful life themselves, they are actually better partner than
we choose
someone.
We choose the right partners. We choose
right
the
or wrong,
partner.
I don't know. I don't really judge it anymore. But you kind of because you're so independent. You
also pick an
you have a better
partner.
no. You have a better ways of living with someone else.
Yeah,
because a lot of my guy friends, they would say, oh, I don't know, my wife wants so much from me, and I have to do so much for my partner. Because when a lot of people think that when a woman is independent, it's very difficult to live with them. But I disagree with that. I feel like when someone is that independent, they become a better partner.
It's called driven masculinity in women. What happens is that, sometimes women, when we are, I wouldn't say the word forced, but we are just subjected to, taking care of ourselves, taking care of our families, taking care of people around us. And there's nobody taking care of us. We kind of start feeding in this masculine energy within ourselves where, like, we become like these strong women who can go and who can do everything. We can change the light bulb, we can, fix the car, we can do this and we can do that. And I feel like most men like delicate women who are dependent on them, or damsels in distress. And when they see a strong woman who's got these masculine driven qualities, they feel intimidated by us. And they feel like, oh, that is too much. We are labeled as too much. But the whole point is, just because I can do it myself doesn't mean I don't want you to do it for me.
Yeah, of course.
I am doing it because I'm being forced to do it in a situation like this. But I would love to have a man take care of me. I would love to show my feminine side to a man, like, who loves me. But just because I'm showing my feminine side, a feminine side is not weakness. A feminine side is caring. A feminine side is being emotional. A feminine side is being thoughtful. A feminine side does not mean that I'm weak and I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole idea and the concept of what is masculinity and what is feminism is something that people need to understand better in this world. But yeah, it's such an interesting conversation. I feel like I can talk
need
about
a whole
this.
new podcast for that.
New
New
podcast
show
for this. But when you're traveling, are you like an adventure seeker?
Oh my god, yeah. I'm a everything junkie.
Junkie.
I can be. I don't know, on a Basel art fair, which is super fancy, red carpet. Dealing with like collector and clients and things like that. And I actually did it this year. This year I went for Art Basel, which
I think
was
you did a lot this year.
Yeah, I did a lot. But I went back to Basel because I tell you why. I did not know next to Basel, like literally, like, because it's such a tiny city, right? In 15 minutes, you drive, and there are these mountains that there were actually mummies and like things found. Yeah, so there was this collector who told me all this story when I was at Art Basel, in one of the parties, the art parties. And what I did, I made actually new friends, and then they invited me to visit the gallery. 3 months later, I went back to Basel, and I actually did a whole trekking and, full like trekking clothes and shoes or whatever. And that's what I did for 3 days.
That's amazing.
So I can be, I don't know, go to Maldives and dive.
Yeah.
And I love nature. and
too.
and I love doing different kind of trips.
Yeah.
So I could be a city girl. I love the city as well sometimes, but then sometimes I need just to be on the beach and swim and the ocean, and then sometimes I would just like climb. Yeah. And I played so many sports all my life.
Yeah.
So physically also I'm fit to do certain activities.
Yes.
Yeah. And diving is just one of the things that I love the most.
I have a very funny diving story. I once remember I went diving in a cenote, and it was an open cenote. And I didn't know there was a crocodile there.
Fun.
So my diver and me, we were the only two people there. Surprisingly, there was nobody else. And I was in the water, and then I came out, and suddenly he goes up and he's like, "Oh, I don't see the croc today." I'm like,
wow.
He's like, "Yeah, usually there's a crocodile here hanging around somewhere." And I'm like, "There's a crocodile in this water?" And I came to know something very interesting. Apparently, crocodiles can't open their mouths underwater.
No, they can't.
They can't. So they can never bite you underwater.
That's why they come
will
out.
only be able to bite you on the surface of the water. So if you're underwater with a crocodile, you're safe. But the moment you're on the surface,
that's where they come out and they open their mouth.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mandana. I had such an amazing conversation with you, and I wish we could do this all over again.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we will actually.
Yeah.
And I hope this episode is inspired you in some way to go out there, pack your bags and make that trip. And don't be afraid to, make the trip all by yourself. Don't wait for somebody. Sit at that restaurant alone and have that meal, take that flight alone. And if you have company, then enjoy it with some company. But travel. Make sure you travel enough in this life. So Mandana, I have a question for you. Sure. What does thriving mean to you?
Thriving means if I would be the person who's going to judge myself out of the box, like as a, top angle that I'm looking at Mandana, is that what I was doing 2 months ago or 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I'm doing more than what I was doing and I have grown. So if I see that progress and the growth, for me, that's where I'm thriving. Like example, now it's almost end of the year, right? So when I look back on actually I remember the time exactly, 29th of December last year in Goa, and I was having a conversation with a couple of friends, which they forced a couple of my trips as well. I was telling them, I don't know, I'm not very happy. I haven't traveled. I haven't met my best friend who lives in London. I haven't met this friend who's been living in Malaysia, this place, that place, blah blah blah. And then and I said, you know what, 2025, I'm going to work a lot and I'm going to make my work to a holiday. And I'm going to go and meet all my friends. So when I look back, 2025 definitely has been a thriving year for me. So that's how I call, and that's what it means for me to be like thriving in life.
That's amazing.
And your thriving could be all your life, 30, 20, 40s, and whatever.
Absolutely. That's very, very well said. Vandana, we have a small gift for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So this is from All Natural, and it is all organic, and it's something that I use on my own skin, and I hope this does wonders for you.
Oh, it has mushrooms on it and some birds. Very cute. Can I open it?
Yeah, sure.
I love opening gifts.
Let's do an unboxing, guys.
Unboxing. What do they do, these girls on Instagram?
Yeah, what is it? Like,
I don't know. You tell me.
ASMR.
Can someone explain?
Hi,
I can
guys.
see here.
We're gonna do
just a
an
normal
unboxing
person
right now.
And there's a card.